If women want to be comforted and they need presence to the point where if you leave for school, they're going to abandon you, well, what do men want? Well, they want action, they want solution. Men desire change, they want to move forward and improve. But that naturally makes them poor communicators. As they don't communicate, they react. And typically, a boy is going to react from his emotions, but a man is going to speak from clarity and wisdom, which comes through reflection. So, the reason why your relationships fail isn't as a result of you being too quiet, but it's because you talk like someone who can't handle the moment. And women will do anything to preserve the moment, and they admire a man who can manufacture one. Masculine communication is calm, direct, and controlled, and until you learn it, people will not respect you as a man. Howdy, my name is Nolan T. Painter, and in today's video, I want to talk about masculine communication and what it really looks like. And just taking my notes here, you got to realize it takes a long time to understand these things as a man. I mean, I guarantee it, your fathers probably don't understand these things, and your father's fathers probably don't understand these things. This is a skill you have to learn through a lot of rigorous reflection. And I'm so blessed as a man to have spent so long alone that I'm able to actually reflect on how important my words are, and including the lack thereof. So let's look at why men communicate poorly. Well, communication isn't just looking at your tone or the way you exaggerate yourself. Communication is everything. It's your tone, your presence, your timing, your emotional stability. Those are big deals. The way you present yourself emotionally to your partner, especially as a woman who picks up on everything, including your timing, is a big deal to them. But men destroy conversations because they talk too fast, like I am now. And because I'm talking too fast, the words I'm saying have less depth and they have less presence, right? They speak from insecurity. Not to say an insecure man is a poor man, but certainly if you're constantly worrying, what does that say to her? What does that speak to her? Additionally, men raise their tone. That proves a weak man because it shows he's angered easily. It's okay to be offended and it's okay to raise your tone when the time is right, but certainly you should not be raising your tone at a partner, even if it seems warranted. After all, we lead in truth and not logic, even when logic tells us to do otherwise. Additionally, men try to win arguments, but winning in a relationship isn't getting on the right side of the argument, it's coming together afterwards and loving each other. And of course, men panic when emotions rise because the average man isn't taught how to deal with his emotions, and especially the emotions of a woman. And women are essentially emotional, and that emotion motivates them. So, as men, we need to learn carefully and hopefully not the hard way on how to actually handle the emotion. The truth is, though, people aren't going to listen to the loudest man. They're going to listen to the calmest and thus the wisest one. Of course, let's learn about masculine communication. What does it look like? Well, of course, like I said earlier, it's slow, calm, and it's direct. So a boy's going to talk impulsively. He's going to say things that are straight off of his heart, which is good. But a man's going to take a little moment to think about it, and he's going to wait intentionally to talk with this intention. Think about it. Let's say you get good news. You want to tell all your friends. Or let's say it's bad news, but because you're eager, you're going to tell your buddies. But if you wait a moment, you're going to learn and reflect. Think about it like this way, and a girl will certainly relate to this. You come out of a relationship, and all you want is to get in another relationship so you can feel good. But if you wait for a moment, a woman would realize, wow, actually, I would have hurt that man because I don't want a relationship. I want the last dude I was with. So you got to realize as a man, I know it wasn't the best example, but you have to realize as a man, communication is about taking the intention and taking time. And that's the first of the three traits. It's slow. You don't rush your communication. You don't cut people off, essentially. And what that does is it teaches people to apologize when they do it for you. This lady I was with, because I would apologize for cutting her off, would constantly apologize to me if she ever talked over me. That made a very healthy environment where we had a lot of self-respect and a lot of respect for one another. Of course, as a man, you have to take your breath and then answer. That shows you are grounded and you're patient. If a woman sees you are rushing to talk, then you must be rushing to go somewhere, and certainly that's not with her. It creates a bit of unease. And of course, you find calmness in being slower. You speak with a lower, a steady tone. I mean, who cares if you have a high-pitched voice like mine, or if you're this grumbly low man with this big man bear voice? As long as you're patient, you'll find that calm. You don't need to match someone's emotional spike. You just need to create your own emotional flatline. That doesn't mean you are emotionless, but it means you're resonant with what they desire. If a woman is panicking and she wants to be calm, you don't tell her to be calm. You show her what that flat line looks like, and she'll come to it. She'll naturally come to what that emotional flat line looks like, which isn't emotionless, but it's emotionally calm and it's spirited. And then, of course, we are direct. You say what you mean without performing. Be honest with your intentions. even if it makes you look like a fool, or even if it makes you look like some big idiot in front of everyone you know, you got to be honest with your intentions. If it's an I love you, or I want to work for you, or I want to do this, you need to be honest with your intentions. And not only that, but you'd be surprised with how many women would be accepting of your intentions, because it shows you're confident in what you're willing to do. And if she thinks what you're willing to do is good, then she'll appreciate your confidence and she wouldn't be worried about what your intentions are as long as you're honest and open about them. It also saves you a lot of pain if your intentions are something negligible or harmful for her and she can just get rid of you. So instead of saying, "Why are you mad at me?" you know, say, how can you help me understand what I did wrong? Or how can we work through these things? And instead of saying whatever, you got to say, "Here's what I'm feeling and here's what I'd like to happen." It's okay to be vulnerable as a man, and it's okay to use your communication as a point to get what you want. Not out of a selfish desire, but out of healthiness. Women do it all the time. They will always take advantage of communication to get what they want because they want to feel right. But a man can also feel good. He can feel right whenever he wants, but you have to learn to communicate in a healthy manner. And that it includes being slow, calm, and direct. So, of course, how can we control our emotions? Because that's the core of a man's words. Well, men ruin conversations because they let their emotions talk for them. They get really eager, so they throw themselves out there, and then they get accused of love bombing. And if you don't know what that is, that's essentially the idea of telling someone you love them and giving them your everything, but you actually don't care about them. You just feel good in the moment, which sucks being on the receiving end of, and it's hard for men to really wrap their mind around. So masculine communication requires not speaking in your anger, not raising your voice, not trying to win, especially. That shows you're a very weak boy. But it's also not spiraling into defensiveness or trying to create a provocation or trying to assert something because you're so eager or so happy. I like to say a man leads in truth and not emotion. But emotion goes both ways. So if you're so incredibly eager that you want to come in with overbearing news, you have to learn to be patient and make it more special. I mean, after all, people wait to have sex for marriage because you have to go against your eagerness, your emotion, your worldly things, so you can make it all the better. So you don't have to go as crazy as that, but certainly make it all the special in the detailed things like communication. Though, of course, communication isn't perfect. Communication is there to make things perfect. So if you do fall short, if you do make a mistake, communication is there to say, "I'm sorry, I'd like to improve." I'm proud of myself as a man, I'm proud of myself as a man when I was in a relationship. If I ever fell short or when I made mistakes, I always took accountability. I always came up and said I was wrong, and I doubled and tripled down when she said otherwise. I acknowledged my mistakes and I made them clear. And that's what makes a good man. Not the man who never makes mistakes, but the man who takes accountability for them. Because a man who speaks after his emotions settle is what makes a good man, not a man who speaks during. So if you can't control your emotions, you can't control your mouth, certainly. So overall, though, a controlled man can calm a storm, but an uncontrolled man is going to oftentimes make them worse. And of course, we're going to find the masculine pause. That's when you're watching those guru videos and he stops to get your attention. You can find this with ladies all the time if you're in a very present and calming moment with her. I mean, your breathing controls her tempo. You can slow her heart rate by just being more present. You can let the moment settle and then you speak. That doesn't mean manufacturing everything so you can make this artificial engagement with her, but just being present and happy. That's hard for us men because we so desire these things and we want to chase after them, like I'm chasing the information to send to you in this video. But the sooner we can be calm and grateful, the sooner the recipient of said information can fully resonate with it, especially a woman. We naturally lead them. That's not because their gender roles say so, but that's because women naturally submit to the state around them. So if the emotional state around them, being you, is hectic or presently just going insane, then they're going to be worrisome. But if you're calm and doing the right things, then yes, she likewise will be so too, and she'll resonate more with what you have to say and be more open to criticism or a healthy conversation about vulnerabilities. And the pause, this idea of taking a moment, is going to signal emotional stability, confidence, presence, and of course, like I said, leadership. As a result, a woman feels safer around a man who doesn't rush into chaos. So if you have something to say, make it worthwhile. And of course, we have 3 overarching rules that are going to cover all the things we've talked about. Of course, say less and mean more. That doesn't mean shut up and never talk about things. A man who always talks about what he likes is, well, that's a fair man. But you got to make what you say worthwhile. So that doesn't mean you're not allowed to say things you enjoy or just go out and be like I am and be passionate about things you are passionate about. But it means when you're serious, don't say nonsense you don't actually mean about. I love you has to mean something, right? A woman can tell when your words don't mean anything, so let them really mean something. I mean, come on. That hurts people. I was hurt by that. So too many words can show a bit of insecurity even when it's not there. And fewer words can oftentimes show presence. But that doesn't mean you can be this stoic man who says, I'm going to say 3 words a day. Being this stoic fake man is not what women desire. They want a man with depth, with integrity, and with individuality. A man who can be himself. So be the man who is himself, but don't always throw yourself onto some nonsense. Just chill out. Of course, don't argue emotionally. That's rule number 2. Never battle emotion with emotion. If your partner is having an emotional day, you don't bring emotions to her, you bring calmness, right? And that calmness resonates with her as she becomes more happy, right? So don't match frustration with frustration, but bring kindness and forgiveness and grace. It doesn't matter how wronged you are or how wronged I was. You have to bring grace and forgiveness. That's what makes a good man. Because as a man, life's not about feeling the greatest, but it's about doing the greatest you can. Not about being good, or sorry, not about feeling good, but it actually is about being good. And of course, we move on to the third and final rule, which kind of overarches everything. You got to speak from identity, not insecurity. Remember what I said about being yourself and just being this man? Even if you're a little insecure or there's these little things, that's okay. But you got to be yourself. You can't pretend to be this facade. You can't put this wall up and say you're the stoic man or fake it. That's not right. It's not right for your partner and it's not right for you. So the I need to believe me is insecurity, but the here's where I stand is your identity. I talk a lot about discipline, so if you have a problem with your identity, work your life around that. If you want to be the man you desire to be, then build that life around who that man is. Don't pretend it. Don't pretend to be this young thug or this cool stoic man. Just be him. And if no one likes you, then you'll realize that's not someone you'd want to be. You'll never know unless you try, so just be who you want to be, and it's okay to be a little shameless in that regard, as long as who you're being is well respected. Overall, though, a boy talks to be heard, but a man talks to bring clarity and to hear others. Masculine communication is about having the perfect words, but it's about being apologetic and having the ability to take accountability for when you do fall short, as it's about having the right presence. You got to speak slowly, be calm, and have presence that shows a direction in life. As a man dreams about his future, a woman can foresee it. But if she can't predict you, then how can she foresee a future with you? And a woman who can't foresee a future with you will hurt you more than anything else. As a result, people won't respect you because you talk louder. They'll respect you because you speak like a man. My name is Nolan T. Painter. I'm only 18 years old. I'm no man and more than just some random kid, as that's all I am at the end of the day. But I pray every day, one day, I may be blessed with a woman I can share these things with. And I pray so will you. So of course, I love you, but God loves you more. And I guarantee it, I will see you tomorrow.